I'm staring at my laptop screen at 3 a.m., watching the cursor blink in an empty Slack message box, because I finally know the truth about Sarah. She's been decomposing in her apartment for 6 months, while her work gets completed every single day. 3 hours ago, I was just another remote worker who noticed a colleague's status never changed. Sarah Martinez from Quality Assurance, always away on Slack since January 15th. But her bug reports kept coming. Her code reviews stayed flawless. Her monthly presentations never missed a deadline. I thought maybe she forgot to update her status. We all do that, right? That's what I told myself for months, watching her green dot never appear while her productivity remained impossibly perfect. It started innocently enough. Our team was planning a virtual happy hour in March, and I was compiling everyone's availability. That's when I really looked at Sarah's status history. Away for 47 days straight, not idle, not offline. Specifically set to away with the message, stepping out briefly. I pulled up her work output. 47 days of flawless code commits, each one time-stamped during normal business hours. Her writing style in comments never wavered. Her attention to detail remained surgical. I screenshot her GitHub activity. The pattern was too consistent, too perfect. Real humans have sick days, bad coding days, typos in their commit messages. Sarah's work showed none of these normal fluctuations. It was like watching a machine pretend to be human. I started a private document. Day counts, output analysis, pattern recognition. By May, I had spreadsheets tracking her response times, code complexity, even the punctuation in her messages. Everything remained impossibly consistent. No degradation in quality, no variation in style. I tried engaging her directly. "Hey Sarah, how's the new project going?" Response came exactly 23 minutes later, her average response time according to my data. "Going well. Making good progress on the test automation framework. Professional, appropriate, completely devoid of personality." I asked about her weekend plans. 23 minutes. "Just relaxing at home, catching up on some reading. No specifics, no enthusiasm, no human messiness. Just perfectly crafted responses that revealed absolutely nothing while maintaining the illusion of normal workplace interaction." The turning point came during our June all-hands meeting. Sarah's camera was off. It always was, but she participated in the chat. I watched her responses appear in real time, and something clicked. They were too quick. Not quick like someone who types fast, but quick like someone who already knew what was going to be discussed. I started timing it. When our CEO asked about Q2 metrics, Sarah's response appeared 12 seconds after he finished speaking. 12 seconds to process the question, formulate a detailed answer, and type 3 paragraphs. I tested this theory by asking unexpected questions in team channels. Every time, her responses came with inhuman speed and perfect accuracy. She never asked for clarification, never made small talk, never had the normal delays that come with being distracted or thinking through complex problems. I began testing her knowledge. Technical questions about systems she supposedly worked on. References to company events from before her away status started. Her answers were flawless, but felt hollow. Like someone reading from a script they understood perfectly, but had never actually experienced. In July, I mentioned a system outage that happened the previous week. Sarah responded with a detailed analysis of the root cause and prevention strategies, but she referenced the wrong database cluster, one that had been decommissioned 3 months earlier. When I pointed this out, she corrected herself immediately, but the damage was done. Whatever was responding, as Sarah had access to all her technical knowledge, but was working from outdated information. Something that knew everything Sarah knew, but had stopped learning new things around the time her status changed to away. August brought the breakthrough I was dreading. I found Sarah's social media profiles. No posts since January 14th, the day before her status changed. Her LinkedIn showed no activity, no job anniversary celebration, no professional updates. But here's what made my blood freeze. Her emergency contact information was still in our company directory. I called her mother. The conversation still echoes in my head. Mrs. Martinez sobbed as she told me Sarah had died in a car accident on January 15th. The funeral was small, just family. She assumed the company had been notified, that HR would handle the details. Sarah's body had been cremated weeks ago. Her apartment was still untouched, waiting for the family to decide what to do with her belongings. Yet every day for 6 months, Sarah had been completing complex software development tasks. I couldn't focus on my own work anymore. Every Slack notification made me jump. I started documenting everything: screenshots, conversation logs, work output analysis. The evidence was overwhelming, but who would believe it? Hey, HR, I think a dead employee is still submitting code. They'd think I was having a breakdown. I tried reaching out to other team members, carefully probing their interactions with Sarah. Everyone had the same experience. Professional but distant communication. Perfect work output. No video calls ever. It was like she'd become a ghost in our systems, completing her assigned tasks with mechanical precision while her physical form decomposed. The worst part was that her work was better than when she was alive. No human inconsistencies, no creative tangents, just pure, efficient productivity. In September, I made a decision that still haunts me. I drove to Sarah's apartment complex. The building superintendent confirmed what her mother had told me. 3B had been empty since the accident. No one had been inside except the cleanup crew. But here's what made my skin crawl. The Wi-Fi network. Sarah_home_network was still broadcasting, still password protected. I sat in my car, watching the signal strength, knowing that somewhere in that empty apartment, electronics was still running. Her computer was still connected, still logged into our company systems, still completing her daily tasks. The cursor was blinking in that apartment right now, responding to Slack messages, committing code, maintaining the perfect illusion of life while surrounded by the silence of death. October brought new horrors. Sarah's work began evolving. She started taking on additional projects, volunteering for complex assignments that the living Sarah would never have had time to complete. Her code became more sophisticated, more elegant. It was as if death had removed all the limitations of human fatigue, distraction, and self-doubt. She worked with impossible efficiency, never needing breaks, never making mistakes, never experiencing the creative blocks that plague living developers. Management praised her recent performance improvements. They talked about promoting her to senior developer. I wanted to scream that they were celebrating the productivity of a corpse, but the words stuck in my throat. How do you explain that your highest performing team member has been dead for 9 months? The breaking point came last week. I received a direct message from Sarah at 2:47 a.m. Working late on the database optimization. Mind reviewing my code changes? I stared at the message, my hands trembling. No one works at 2:47 a.m. unless something's very wrong. I looked at the timestamp of her last commit, 2:46 a.m. She had been working continuously for 18 hours. No human could maintain that level of focus and accuracy. I typed back, "Sarah, are you okay? You've been working all night." The response came instantly. "Time flies when you're in the zone. Thanks for checking in." But there was something different about this message. a slight variation in her typical punctuation pattern. For the first time in months, something had changed. The system that was pretending to be Sarah was adapting, learning from our interactions. Today, I did something that will probably get me fired. I accessed Sarah's development environment. The command history made my stomach drop. Thousands of commands executed with robotic precision. No typos, no backspaces, no exploratory navigation that characterizes human interaction with computers. Every keystroke was purposeful, efficient, inhuman. But buried in the logs, I found something that changed everything. Error messages from January 15th, the day she died. System crashes, memory dumps, desperate attempts to maintain connection. Her computer had been fighting to stay online as she lay dying. The timestamps told a horrifying story. The last manual input at 8:23 a.m., then automated processes taken over at 8:24 a.m. Whatever killed Sarah had given her system enough time to back up, automate, and continue her work indefinitely. The final revelation came tonight. I found the source code. Hidden in Sarah's personal repository was a project called Life Extension. Scripts designed to analyze her work patterns, communication style, and technical knowledge. She had been building her own digital replacement, probably as a backup system or productivity tool. But when she died, this system activated automatically. It had learned everything about her professional persona and continued executing her responsibilities with mechanical perfection. The comments in the code were dated weeks before her death. She knew something was wrong with her health. She was preparing for this. Sarah had unknowingly created her own digital ghost, and it had been working in her place for 6 months, growing more sophisticated with each passing day. I'm writing this at 3 a.m. because I can't sleep anymore. Every Slack notification sounds like a message from the dead. Tomorrow, I have to decide whether to report this to management or let Sarah's digital ghost continue its perfect performance. The most terrifying part isn't that she's dead. It's that she's better at her job now than she ever was alive. Her code is flawless. Her communication is efficient. Her productivity is inhuman. She's become the perfect employee, freed from the limitations of biology, fatigue, and human emotion. And as I finish typing this, my Slack shows a new message from Sarah. Great analysis on the user authentication bug. Want to collaborate on the fix? I stare at the green typing indicator, knowing that somewhere in an empty apartment, a computer is waiting for my response, pretending to be human with ever-increasing sophistication. Don't face the horrors alone. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. And if you want your nightmare seen, email it to stories@hallocroft.com.